Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here and listening and joining me. Today, I'm going to use one of my favorite oracle decks of all time. It is The Secret Language of Your Soul. I actually got this deck when I went to the beautiful Arthur Findlay, located in England, one of the top colleges based off of spiritual and psychic sciences. So that's one of the spaces and places that I have learned all of these beautiful gifts and skills. And essentially, at the end of the day, it's all about practicing, it's all about connecting and trusting and believing in the information that you receive. Also, to receive feedback from those that you work with. Otherwise, you won't know if you're on the right track or not. So with that being said, I'm going to pull one of these cards out, one or a couple, for a reading for you and always for the highest good. Now, typically in my one-on-one readings, I usually do not use oracle cards. I do this for an impromptu universal message. So if you're watching this, this is meant for you. Take what resonates and release the rest. So I love these cards for many different reasons. So for one, I love them because of where I got them. So there's already a connection there with Arthur Findlay, which I had a wonderful experience with. Two, I love these cards because of the way that they smell. I've always loved the smell of books and cards and paper, and I don't know if you remember ever getting Scholastic, like little magazines when you were a little kid. If you're in the US, you may know what I'm talking about. It may expand beyond the US. But the smell of new books and old books too. And the colors. So, the colors are vast. The images are all like geometric shapes. Some are symmetric, some are asymmetric. So just gorgeous, everything. The message, the person behind who created these as well. So all this information will be below the video also. So let's get started. So I do ask to receive messages for you and always for the highest good. So cards, Spirit's encouraging me to tell you that cards are just a way of receiving messages. They're not the only way. They're a way, they're a tool, just like anything else. You can use your intuition, you can use your clairvoyance, you can use trance work, you can speak, you can listen to someone else, receive guidance for you. You can receive your own guidance, you can meditate, you can connect. You can use books for messages as well. So many different ways. Psychometry, telepathy. Okay, so a few cards flipped over. I know you didn't see it. They're going crazy. They're like, come on, hurry up. Okay, so the first thing that I'm noticing right off the bat is we've got two, especially pink colors, and a purplish. So this card here is kind of on the outskirts. We'll get back to that in a minute. Green makes me think of like go green, grass, Mother Nature, get moving, but those are just terms or meanings that are coming to my mind right now. So the color green can change depending on the person that you're working with, depending on what pops up in your mind. So spirit speaks in symbols. Okay, so spirit speaks in symbols. And that's kind of what life is all about, is symbolic meaning, metaphoric meaning, allegory. How can you use these messages for your own benefit? So enhance your intimate relationships. Now this is interesting because this card actually makes me think of having a relationship with spirit. Okay, so I just received a message myself from another woman on Instagram. And oh my gosh, I cannot think of her name off the top of my head, but she's wonderful. She's very, very good. She actually uses tarot for her messages. And she's going on and on about this particular relationship, about someone showing up in your life and how they're going to be helpful for you. And I kept thinking to myself, oh my gosh, this is, I'm so excited to know who's going to pop up in my life. But then as I tapped in intuitively, I thought to myself, oh my God, this is my relationship with God, with the universe, with spirit, with my higher self, with my guides. And so I saw it that way for the first time, maybe not the first time, but in that moment, I realized this relationship is not about another person. This is about having an intimate, close, deep connection with spirit, with God, with whatever it is that you want to connect with. So this is not just about a message that I received for me. Apply this information to your own life. So spirit is asking you to get closer, okay? Now you can do that as you're sitting here right now, okay? You're already doing it. The fact that you're watching this video, as I am a psychic medium, healer, all that other fun stuff. So you're already doing it, but it's really, really good to allow yourself to find that quietness as well, to connect. Also, to sit in the power is another way of meditating and connecting. This might be challenging. Do know that as you sit in the power, or as you connect, or as you meditate, it's essentially all the same. Thoughts are going to pop up in your mind, okay? But try not to allow that to get to you, okay? Just notice the thought. If you need to, you can have a piece of paper in front of you and you can jot down the thought really quickly and then return to either the breath, the candle that's in front of you, the music, the breathing, the in and out. That's the connection. So your energy will continue to expand out and out and out. And it's all about blending with spirit, okay? So this is the intimate relationship that's coming to my mind for you, for us, for both of us. The next one is to learn to nurture yourself, okay? So learn to nurture yourself. This can be challenging. I can beat myself up, okay, a lot, emotionally, psychologically, especially with everything that's been going on in my life. And maybe I'll open up a little bit more about that as well in another video. But Spirit's encouraging you to nurture your own needs. So this brings me back to a reading that I received once from someone else, from Arthur Findlay. She is a fantastic medium, and she gave me what is called a spiritual assessment. So this is a little bit different than a mediumship reading where a loved one's coming in and they're giving validation, confirmation of life after death. Instead, this is a spiritual assessment. And now I lost my train of thought. What do we learn to nurture yourself? So she's talking about how to connect and to be one with who I am, essentially. And she was also talking about the way that myself, receive fuel, energy. And so this is the message for you as well. What feeds your soul? Now, this obviously could be a little bit different than what feeds your body. But she's talking about, and I'm talking about, and Spirit's talking about what is feeding your soul. That is how you nurture yourself, is to give yourself something that feeds you, your innate natural being, your spirit, your soul. So for example, she said that literature lights me up, and she's so right. And I never quite connected the two, because I'm obsessed with books. But when she used the term literature, that really opened up my eyes. That really helped me see that I am indeed fueled and nurtured through books, through music, through my environment, through having a quiet, serene space. These all fuel me. These give me energy. And so I want you, Spirit wants you to consider what gives you energy, what fuels you, what lights you up, what actually gives you literal physical energy. Now, this doesn't mean you're running around like a spaz, because see, right now I feel very calm, but I feel like I have the energy. Now, right before this, you wouldn't believe that I was actually quite down. I was very solemn. I didn't really want to do this. I was resisting it. Now, when I think about it, I don't think that that resistance was really coming from me and my innate space and my own soul. I think as a human, I was resisting it. So there's two differences there as far as your soul and compared to your humanness, right? So your humanness gets in the way. So consider what fuels you and what feels good from the inside out. Okay, next, which aligns perfectly with what I'm talking about, is relax into the unknown. Relax into the unknown. Initiate with trust. Okay, that's exactly what I did. As I was sitting here earlier, I was like, I know that I'm going to do this because I want to connect. I want to help you. I want to be the teacher. I want to be the mentor. I want to be the guide. Okay. So, what is it that you want to do? And then allow yourself to be in a position, quite literal position, to where you can relax into the position. You can relax into the unknown. So a lot of times we are frightened. We are terrified because we do not know what the next step is. We do not know by taking this action that it will create this. We have an idea, we have a thought, we have a wish, we have a wanting, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's exactly the way that it's going to happen. Now, your job is to take the initiative, take action, visualize what it is that you want, visualize your dreams, feel into your dreams, feel into your desires, feel into your goals, write them out. That's very important as well, as to write them out. And then allow yourself to move into the space of trust. Okay, so the work that I do specifically as a psychic medium, you have to trust, because what happens is your brain starts to get into the way. Now, it will show up occasionally, but eventually it will start to kind of go in the background and it won't be as prominent anymore. But this work, especially as a medium, you have to trust, okay? So this is the same concept for you. You don't have to be a psychic medium or a healer of any sort. Instead, you can trust that your dreams and your goals are waiting for you to fully step into them, to use them to nurture your soul, to use them to expand and to grow and to embrace every aspect of who you are. That is what your dreams are asking for you to do. This is not some weird coincidence that you're watching this. This is meant for you to take in to yourself and to relish in this information, to use it for fuel, okay? So the things that you are envisioning, the things that you're dreaming, the ideas that you have, Spirit wants you to step into that creativeness that belongs to you. When you create, you are colorful, you are beautiful, your light emanates from the inside out. You begin to naturally magnetize and attract as you step into what is calling for you. And that is what it's all about as far as relaxing into the unknown, trusting in spirit, trusting in source. And that's exactly what I did as well. Just now, I was like, not freaked out, but I was like, I don't know what to do. What are we going to talk about today? And I'm like, oh my God, my cards are right in front of me. And so as you sit or as you step into the space, that is when spirit is calling. That is when spirit kind of works with you and blends with you. But it is up to you as a human to give yourself that chance. Okay, so having that willpower. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So the green card, inhale the scent of life. I love it. I love it. I love it. So scent can be, things that are in the air, right? It's just this fume, this essence, this very like sparkliness, this glitteriness that's floating, right? And so breathing in the scent. What is this underneath? The celestial bouquet awaits. Ooh, very poem-like. So beyond just what this could mean, like physically, like the fumes of life, right? Or the scent of life. This is about bringing in the beauty. That's what this is about. Things are not always beautiful. Okay, so I understand that. Trust me, I do get that life can be very, very challenging, heart-wrenching, hard. There's a lot of horrific things that are going on in the world, but Spirit's encouraging you to take in the beauty, to see the good that is indeed around you. I know that sometimes it can be challenging. And I'm not saying that you can't have a bad moment. And I'm not saying that you can't be angry, because sometimes, and actually quite often, when you're feeling the rage, when you're feeling the anger, this could be from something outside of you that has kind of triggered you, something subconscious that is surfacing for you to either acknowledge or just to get out energetically without really understanding it intellectually. And other times, anger can surface because there's a deep passion there, or there's something that has happened that is really, it offers a lot of like distraught feeling and uncomfortable. And then when you look at visions or images on social media that you're like, this is not what I wanted to see, it can take on a lot it can be very painful to see this. Okay, so Spirit's asking you just to recognize that that those moments are okay, but to try and get back to your surroundings and what it is that you enjoy about your surroundings, what it is that, where is the beauty, right? And so, and I know that it's challenging, and this is something that I've actually really have challenged myself in accepting, because I love that this is green, because as I'm looking out my window right now, the trees are green, but just like a month ago, it was desolate, it was gray. Well, the sky is gray. It's very foggy today, but at least there's some damn green leaves on the trees. And that's so relieving. Okay. And so it doesn't have to be the seasons. It doesn't have to be the change of the seasons, but instead it can be like, do you need to change your environment yourself? Is there an environment that you're in that stinks, that is dense with crappy energy, that is just gross, right? It's just gross. Because I'm thinking of like all the words that make me think of like scent of life, the fumes of life. Sometimes there's this beautiful florally, citrusy fragrance that's in the air. And then other times you're like, damn, there's a stench in the air. And I'm not talking about literal, okay? I'm talking about symbolic. So is there a space that you're in, an environment, a business, a career, a relationship that is not helping you? It's hindering you. So Spirit's encouraging you to move along, okay? So I know that that's not easy, right? You can't just be like, poof, all right, I'm out of here. Unless you're in the phase where you are like, poof, I'm out of here, right? Unless you've taken on so much that you're like, you know what? I deserve better. I don't want to deal with this anymore. My spirit's encouraging me to move on. My soul is encouraging me to move on. So life is all about experiencing joy, really. And taking the good with the bad, right? So it's not always perfect, and I think that's the human experience. I think that that's why we are here, is to just experience this as a human. But also, mainly, I get the message over and over and over again, especially in videos with others who are sharing their near-death experiences. They're talking about when they died. They literally died, right? Their heart stopped, and they saw this light. And the message for a lot of these people that experienced NDEs was that life is about joy. Life was about being here and offering and receiving love as best as possible. And that's the message that they bring back with them. So I believe that someone has a near-death experience to share that experience with us, to give us hope that life doesn't always have to be in a state of suffering. Okay, so welcome in the sense that enliven you, that nurture your soul, that allow you to relax into spirit, allow you to relax into the unknown. And I'm just looking at these cards and seeing what else. and enhancing your intimate relationship with spirit, with God, consciousness, your higher self, your spiritual guides. Okay, I hope that was helpful for you. All of the links are below. If you feel drawn to it, please connect with me. I do one-on-one readings where I connect with you on a soul level. So I don't necessarily bring through loved ones. Sometimes they show up, but usually my one-on-one readings are more about receiving information from spirit for you, and always for the highest good, about your personal development, spiritual development. These are very specific messages for you, so specific. For example, and I just gave one of my clients a reading about 2 days ago, and I close my eyes and I really get into it, and I kind of go into a light trance state. I'm still kind of aware, but sometimes I totally forget where I am and what I'm doing. But I'm just talking away, right? And I said, I feel like Spirit's encouraging me to tell you to give this individual the book, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. Okay, so there's a book called that. I think that's the way it's called, or that's how it's written out. And after the session, I opened my eyes and she had tears running down her cheeks. And she said, "You will not believe it. I just gave my son Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance." And I said, "What?" So, it's fascinating how it works. And I'm so happy that she told me that, because I must have needed to hear that. It gave me inspiration to continue to do this work. I've given hundreds and hundreds of readings, but not many people give me such specific feedback. Oftentimes they're just like, "Thank you, that was so helpful." And I'm like, "Okay, wonderful, I love it." And then, I see them a little bit later on, or maybe it's one and done, and they are just transformed, and I can feel it, like the elevation within them, and they're like in awe. I've only had one client out of my hundreds of clients where she was like, but I initially had a feeling that just wasn't a good connection. And I do believe that was just a lesson from Spirit on my behalf. And so I sent her healing and we were on our way. And I don't even know why I'm talking about this, but so back to the readings. So these are very, very specific for you, your life, what your soul would like you to know in this very moment. Again, loved ones can come in, but please have the expectation that the readings are going to be for you, your life, what will help you move forward. Okay. It's all about forward movement. So anytime you're feeling stuck, oftentimes it's because we're in the same cycle. We're worried about what's going to happen or what's not going to happen. Are we wasting time? Blah blah blah. And so we start to feel anxious, and so in those moments, really the key is to do something different than what you're doing. So oftentimes it's movement, so some sort of like physical movement or taking action, making the decision to do something. Something that always helps me anytime I'm feeling anxious is meditating and connecting and getting on with it, right? So anyways, thanks so much. Speaking of, this was a long enough video. I hope I didn't dry you up. I hope that this gave you energy. This is very, very powerful. Please subscribe, share this video, save it, do all the good things. I am Tabitha Stitt, the self-help psychic. Until next time, take care.